Hey everybody, have you ever thought about retiring and moving maybe to your dream location, or maybe a lot of people are just thinking about downsizing someplace? We moved to retire to a dream location. This is a dream come true for us. We woke up this morning to this beautiful snowfall, and I know a lot of people wouldn't like that on April 24th. Just a few days ago, we were having 80 degrees, and I was thinking, oh my goodness, it's already this hot. I was not looking forward to that hot weather coming into the springtime as early as that. So I'm actually happy to see the snow, and it's going to be gone in a few days. In fact, it's already melting, like I said. Okay, now let me get to the cons of moving. And I think the cons really do need to be taken into consideration, because we've met people that have moved here and one spouse likes it and another spouse doesn't. So before you do something or move someplace where somebody's not going to like it, please take these things into consideration. Number one is the expense of traveling to visit relatives. Okay, so depending on your income, depending on how much money you have to retire, what you're going to do for a living in retirement, please factor in the cost of airfare, gasoline, automobile wear and tear. If you're going to be driving to visit friends and relatives, it could be very expensive if they live far away. And even though you might want to travel to see relatives, a lot of times things like that might be out of your budget. And if you are accustomed to those frequent visits with friends and relatives, and you can no longer do that because of travel cost, and we have experienced some of that, okay, you have to be comfortable with that. Number two on the list of cons is missing your family and friends. Okay, aside from the financial cost, there's also the emotional cost of missing family and friends. Okay, so it does take that courage and commitment to decide to move away from your loved ones. In all likelihood, you won't be able to spend as much quality time with family and friends as you did previously. And in some of my other videos, I talk about relationships and the pillars of what's required for relationships. And one of them is proximity. So if you're not going to be in proximity with people, in all likelihood, those relationships aren't going to thrive like they did previously. And even though we have social media and Zoom and things like that, it's not the same as staying in touch personally. It's not the same as being there. Number three, not fitting in with the people where you move. Now, this could be a big one for a lot of people, because when you move to a new place, the people that are in that location may have been there for many years, and they've already established the groups that they're in, their friend networks. They already have those friends, and it might be difficult to make new friends. It's not going to be that easy just to think you're going to move someplace and instantly get friends, especially if you're an introverted person such as myself. It requires a little bit more effort than just moving there and thinking that you're going to be invited to all the barbecues and you're going to be having a friends group and doing all these things. So keep that in mind. And also take into account your relationship with your partner when planning a retirement move, because your spouse might be the person that you're going to be hanging out with most of the time. Number four, and this is a big one to consider, and the older I get, the more I am aware of this one. It's being alone when your spouse dies. And the fear of loneliness is a major stressor for aging individuals. And while you might find yourself alone at some point in the future, regardless of where you live, even if you are around friends and family, moving when you retire can make the death of a spouse much more difficult, because you may not have that support network when you're grieving. That can be really hard. And when you're planning a retirement move, consider how you will handle it if your spouse dies. even though I highly recommend that you move to follow a lifelong dream, because we only have this one life to live, it's also a real consideration where you live if you're going to be alone. Number 5 is the weather is worse than you expected. Maybe you went on vacation someplace and you said, wow, I would love to live here. And you just decided, well, we're going to move there. You were there in the summer, because you were doing a summer beach vacation, or you went on a skiing vacation and you thought, wow, this place is great. This is where I want to move. And then you move there and reality really sets in. You weren't prepared for maybe the rainy days or the cloudy skies, or maybe the heat and the weather. Like I said, the weather can make people grumpy. So even though you were tied to a dream spot, living there year round is not the same as a 2-week vacation. Spend as much time you can in the place where you want to retire and move, because living in a place all 4 seasons, all year long, is a lot different, than just taking a vacation when you're in that good mood and everything's looking really good. Most of us want to live near family. And a lot of times this is what retirees will say they want to do. They want to pick up and live near their kids and their grandkids, because they have this idea of being a big part of their kids' and grandkids' lives. And they also picture that network as they age, which is a good thing. I don't dismiss that. I think that's all great. But I think despite the good intentions, sometimes it's not always the greatest idea, because adult children and their spouses have lives of their own. Let's be frank. Sometimes the kids aren't always that happy having their parents move closer to them. We need to respect everybody's wishes. We need to respect everybody's time. And so there's also the real possibility of kids relocating for their own purposes, maybe for business, maybe otherwise. And for this reason, it can be really disappointing if we have unrealistic expectations of our children and grandchildren. If you're thinking about a move, or if you have moved, I would really love for you to share with everybody, because when you do that, it really helps other people know what's going on with other people in this stage of life, besides what I'm telling you on this video. So I want to thank everybody for watching. I'm Marlene with Rebel Retirement. I'll see you next time.